Hello everybody, welcome to our review of Daredevil Season 3. I'm here today with Chris.
Hello.
And we are going to be breaking down this marvellous season of television.
Oh, it's going to be beautiful.
So full spoiler warning ahead. We are going to be spoiling Seasons 1, 2 and possibly Defenders, if we can get round to it.
Basically, watch Netflix if you haven't already.
Yeah, because we're going to ruin all of Netflix now.
Yeah, that's the plan, because they're taking everything away anyway.
They are actually. So we'll summarise briefly. What did you think of Seasons 1 and 2 leading up to this?
Okay, there's definitely a massive tonal shift between the three. So, like, one's very gritty, and then the camera's a bit shite. Number 2 is very colourful and Marvel comic-esque.
I noticed that, man. I thought Season 1, the camera does look terrible.
But it's that on purpose, do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
supposed to give, like, gritty real, and then Season 2,
it's like watching
it's all...
the first Raid film, then watching the second Raid film.
But if you watch them one after another, it's like if you watch the last episode of Season 1 and then the first episode of Season 2, you're like, what the fuck happened?
I did that. I actually binge-watched Season 1 and 2 together.
God bless you.
And
soul.
it was the biggest tonal whiplash I've ever experienced.
Did your eyes just like lose it? They were just like, well, I used to watch black, now I'm watching blue.
It went from the whole thing looking grey and yellow and gritty and stuff to just a Sony movie, basically.
Yeah,
it looked like Venom.
And then there's just like his suit's all luminescent red for some reason, and it's
I think they realised because at the end of Season 1 that suit is terrible.
In
the first episode,
correction, yeah.
The first episode of Season 2, they just crack the helmet and get on
shoot
with
him in the face, get it all over and done with. Melvin makes a new one.
Yeah, but overall, I think we can both agree Season 1 was a masterpiece.
Yes.
Season 2 was trying a bit too hard to be Season 1.
It wanted to even be like the comics as well. Like it took more from the comics, which I don't think worked for a Netflix show.
The comparison I would make, it's like watching Kick-Ass 1 and then Kick-Ass 2.
Yes.
Kick-Ass 1 is gritty, Kick-Ass 2 is a shiny, clean product.
I agree.
And that's what Daredevil Season 1 and 2 is like. No disrespect to Season 2.
I do love Season 2, it got me into it, to be fair.
My favourite episode of Daredevil in general is in Season 2.
Which one?
Is it Episode 3, where they're on the rooftop?
Okay, right, yeah.
That whole conversation.
One taken from the comics where he's about to kill the bikers.
And then it turns into the whole fight with the bikers. I think that's the best episode. Unfortunately, it's surrounded by a very mediocre second half, which gave me real Iron Man 2 vibes. Setting up Defenders for no reason.
And then Season 3 happened. Oh, fuck.
Well, I think Season 3 works quite well.
It does, but when you look at like 2 and Defenders, and then you realise somebody's like had a depressing life before making this, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it feels like
somebody's dogs just died. The problem
is the guy who's made this has had to watch Defenders before making this. And
I think that's what made him depressed, to be fair. And he was just like, I need to make something.
This whole season is just a response to this guy watching Defenders and thinking, right, that was a mess.
Defenders was so much of a mess. Matthew Murdock lost the ability of faith in God. That's what you've got to realise.
Matt Murdock literally died because of Defenders happening. So, right. Season 1, great. Season 2, not so great. Defenders...
Yeah?
Defenders just kind of happened.
Defenders was there.
It's like Justice League. It just happened, and then people moved on.
The thing is, I think what happened with Avengers, everybody got so hyped over it.
Yeah.
And then that was a huge crossover event. And then every other one that's came after it's kind of either tried to compete with it or be better, and because of it, it's just went to shit.
There was I think the hype was for Iron Fist, and the second Iron Fist came out and ruined everything.
Defenders died.
Defenders had nothing to go off.
Yeah, there was no new...
And it had been like a year since Daredevil. Since then we'd gotten everything else. I think they had honestly no clue. But anyway, we've got Season 3 now.
Yes, we do.
And it's been quite a while since we've seen Daredevil. We've had the Season 2s of everything else, including Punisher Season 1.
I was going to say we don't have Punisher Season 2 yet.
No, but we are getting that soon, aren't we?
Well, it's filmed. Who knows? They might cancel it last second.
Oh, bloody hell.
Back to Season 3.
Back to Season 3, yes. The Season 3, of course, starring Charlie Cox as Daredevil himself. We've got the same cast from the other seasons.
So you've got like Deborah Ann Wall as
we've
Paige
got
and
Eldon Hessen, I think that's his
I
name.
can't pronounce his name.
As Foggy. New additions to the cast this time. We've got Joanne Wally as Sister Maggie, Gia Ali as Ray Nadeem, and Wilson Bethel as the best named character in all of history, Benjamin Poindexter.
Can you tell who that guy is yet? Because we surely can't.
And how can we forget, of course, the magnificent Vincent D'Onofrio as Wilson Fisk.
One of the best... this is going to be taken out of context later, but I think he's one of the better villains out there in the Marvel universe.
I've just realised that in my notes I've actually wrote Vincent D'Onofrio's name, right?
Yeah.
And instead of putting Fisk, I've put Fish. For some stupid reason, I've put Wilson Fish.
Well, now your head's going to get smacked from a car door. That's what's going to happen now.
Shoot.
Gideon's going to...
I've seen an interview where Vincent D'Onofrio's talking about how he's going to put a man's head against a car door.
Oof.
Have you noticed as well in interviews for this, everyone seems to be trying to get Spider-Man into Daredevil?
Why?
I don't know. For some reason...
Is it just because they're both in New York?
I have no idea. Well, they're not. He's in Queens.
Oh, right, yeah.
So it's... Well, I don't know.
Queens, I thought Queens... It's all in New York.
Chris, I have no idea where America is.
We're British.
If you couldn't tell by now. So, we should probably start off with the first few episodes.
Yes, we probably should.
We've got episode 1 called Resurrection.
I wonder what happens in that one.
Episode 2, Please, and episode 3, No Good Deed. So I guess we'll talk about those three. Obviously, episode 1, bit of a slow start.
Well, I mean, it opens with that whole Jesus imagery with the whole explosion, and then the cross, and then Matt kind of falling out the sewer thingy.
I don't know. I found the first couple episodes of this were very slow.
But it's to show that he's healing. Like,
yeah.
It's kind of there. It's slow for purpose, and then when it gets to season 4, it just...
Season 4.
Season 4. Yes, season 4.
Well, when it gets to season 4.
Well, if,
yeah.
But when it gets to episode 4, you know, like, it just bumps up.
It does, yes, in quite the biggest way possible.
So, the first few episodes are to show that Matt has been just, like, broken by Defenders, because everybody else has too, and he's just the audience at this
I
point.
was broken by Defenders.
We were broken by Defenders.
Yeah.
And it's to show that he is healing, so there's a lot of shots of him, like, with blood coming from everywhere, even though he hasn't been hit and stuff like that. It's like, you know, he's got the little watering can up his nose. And then...
There was a lot of blood in this season.
Oh, there was.
Kind of...
There isn't every episode, like, every season, though.
Yeah, but...
He bleeds a lot.
He does bleed a lot. And sometimes it gets a little bit unrealistic how much this man can bleed.
Like, once a week, he loses, like, a blood transfusion worth of blood.
Yeah.
Like,
I remember in the first episode he has that boxing match.
Yeah.
With a random guy, and he gets completely destroyed. And then, I think it's either at the end of the episode or in the episode after... He goes out and tries to beat up a few criminals.
I think it's the end of the episode, and then you find the reaction of what happened next episode.
Like, he just keeps getting beaten down.
And that's making him better? Like, I've never...
I don't know. I didn't really get the impression that Daredevil gets stronger at all this entire season.
Like, he doesn't have a healing factor. That's what we've got to remember here. The chemicals didn't make him, like, Deadpool. It's just...
And yet somehow, by the end of the season, he's able to destroy Kingpin. Like,
he heals really quickly.
It's a very strange... also, at this time, we've got Wilson Fisk still in prison from season 2. Course,
I mean, for him, it's not really a prison. He tells everybody to shut up and everybody listens. And
yeah, I did like moments like that when he
asserted his dominance.
Yes, he was in charge of that prison, which is obviously very excellently demonstrated in episode 4.
Bloody hell. If you can get a clip of that, or like a picture of just episode 4 in general, bloody hell.
Do you want me to just get the words episode 4?
You know what, that'll do it, yeah.
I'll put the clip on when we get to it. But So these first few episodes, we catch up with Matt, Karen, and Foggy, obviously, in different places. Foggy is in the similar state to the end of season 2.
There is a slight time gap, so you can see they've kind of developed as characters off screen.
Yeah.
So Karen's much into reporting now. Foggy is a counsellor now. He is a lot higher up, and you can see that.
I thought it was interesting that Foggy believes Matt's dead, but Karen doesn't.
Well, because Karen kind of has a hard-on for him. And then also I investigative journalism.
I thought it was a guilt thing because she got mad at him for being Daredevil, from what I remember.
She did and she didn't. She got mad because basically she's incompetent and he saved her ass multiple times.
She is incompetent. I would like to definitely mention that.
Just put the clip of her shooting. Do you know the guy
shooting?
Do you know in season 1 when he just...
Oh, Wesley.
Incompetence.
That comes back. That comes back as well in this season.
Yeah, in season 2, she's just kind of butthurt over it. And then
I like how they've got a pristine photo of Wesley. And when I saw it, I thought, I want him back. He was the best part of season 1.
You could tell he had a bit of a hard-on for Fisk. Like, there was some homosexual...
There's a bit later on when Vanessa comes back and she asks Fisk if Poindexter is the new Wesley, and he just says no, he was like a son.
Nobody could ever beat Wesley.
I think Wesley was fantastic.
And then Karen Page just busts a cap.
She busts 7. She remembers 7.
She counted, yeah.
7. She was counting and she went to him 1, 2, 3.
Just to make a Deadpool. She is Deadpool's wife. Okay, we'll stop.
I think you need to stop there.
Yeah, just a bit.
I think
she could have stopped at 1. To be fair, he was dead after 1.
Let's not forget, of course, episode 4.
Yes.
Because I'm pretty sure we can agree the first 3 episodes are a little bit slow, but their characters...
A little bit slow, but there are bits in there which you can... So when, like, in episode, I think it's 2 or 3, so you've obviously got the boxing fight.
Yes, there's little bits of action sprinkled.
But most of it is character building. That is true.
Another thing to mention, I think it's episode 2, we've got Fisk gets taken out of prison.
Right, yes.
And we've got this very good scene where we're introduced to Poindexter without actually knowing who he is.
When we're, like, up front introduced to Poindexter. He's in episode 1, but we don't really know who he is because he's never explicitly shown, except in the back when he says, convict. Other than that.
He does have a tendency to say convict quite
because he doesn't like the word sir or Fisk until later on, you see.
Yes. But that scene where he just shoots down all of the... what are they called? The
Albanians.
Albanians, that was it. When he shoots all of them down with headshots, that was very good.
It was a great scene, but the only issue is I don't understand why the FBI got so butthurt over it. So he did his job.
Oh,
and they got upset.
I noticed Fisk's inside the car, right? And then you get a saw to try and cut it open.
Yes.
Yet the second the Poindexter shoots everyone, Fisk just kicks the door open. And he's out, just straight away.
Either that shows Fisk's power or the Albanians' incompetency.
Yes.
Maybe it's a bit of both.
Maybe it was just a very cheap saw.
Maybe. Got it from B&Q.
Yeah. I suppose, we'll have to probably mention Mr. Ray Nadeem is introduced.
Nadeem!
Because don't forget, he wants to strike a deal.
He does.
He wants to strike a deal with Mr. Wilson.
Vanessa.
He wants Vanessa.
Yes.
And so, Ray Nadeem. What did you think of Ray Nadeem?
I really did actually like Nadeem. His introduction in episode 1.
I'm pretty sure it's episode 1. Yeah.
But like, it's cut very badly compared to the rest of the scenes. Like, what happens is in episode 1, it's all depressing, it's all boo-hoo, it's all black. Next thing you know, it's cut to like a really happy giddy house party where they're talking about funding for a pool and food, and because he's broke. I mean,
isn't it because his sister's just gotten over cancer? Something like that.
So he was she didn't have insurance. Well, it was cancelled, her insurance.
Oh, by Fisk.
Which we find out later by Fisk.
Yeah.
So this is all planned from the start. So Nadeem, being the little good boy that he is, he paid all the stuff through checks, which eventually led to debt, which they're in now, and that's why we introduced them at. so they're struggling, which in FBI is a big no-no, because basically in any legal job, if you have legal funding problems.
You do law, we should mention.
I do, yes. I'm a legal
very,
expert.
Very educated in this area.
But basically, you can't even get a job if you've got any form of debt, because that means you're up for recruitment or corruption.
Yeah.
So usually they'd fire him, but in this they say he's got special circumstances, which is because of why he did it.
Jake made a very good point yesterday. I think it was yesterday he said this. But he was saying, Poindexter has to go through so much. He kills his baseball captain.
Yes.
His therapist dies of cancer, is it?
I don't remember.
I thought it was cancer.
She's just terminally ill, yeah.
Yeah. And then he somehow gets recruited into the FBI. How?
The thing is, though, before he's in the FBI, he's in the suicide prevention hotline.
Oh, God, yeah, I forgot about that.
That's the biggest career change of ever. You're saving lives one way, and then you're saving lives by killing other people.
Yeah, how do you go from suicide prevention to the FBI?
He didn't do his job very well, because do you know in the scene where he's in his apartment, he's about to shoot himself, then his phone...
Yeah.
He didn't do his job very well then, did he?
Imagine if he did just kill himself and that was it.
I mean...
Fisk just, shits himself a little bit.
I mean, at least he'd still be the most accurate man in the world, because then he would have got his shot off.
Yeah. Well, he couldn't even kill...
Couldn't even kill himself?
I like how a priest stopped him. A priest has better direction than him.
The problem is...
Anyway, that's getting very far ahead of time.
We'll cut this in later on.
But no, we're bloody not.
Too much editing.
Episode 4, Blindsided. Blindsided?
He's blind all the way through. I don't know what you're on about.
Well, now he's blindsided.
Oh, I see.
Would you say episode 4 is the best episode of the series?
It's got some of the best moments. I wouldn't say it's the best episode of the series.
I can tell you it's the best 11 minutes of the series, definitely.
That is one of the most impressive fight scenes ever, and it's one of those fight scenes that even Charlie Cox said he really didn't want to do, because he said there was too much of a challenge involved.
When I first saw it, for a start, the bit with the doctor springing that needle on him.
Very tense to begin with, yeah.
I was not expecting that. Then when he gets out into the corridor, I thought, alright, it's just going to be a corridor fight. But then, halfway through, when he's talking to that guy in the... that inmate, the Albanian...
The Albanians.
Yeah.
He's talking to the actual leader of the Albanians and his right-hand man.
I realised at that point...
It's not done yet.
Something else is going to happen here. And the fact that the rest of that scene is them trying to get him out the prison, not actually fighting, he's just trying to get out.
And there's only little fights spurted in between.
Yeah.
You see everything around them. The camera's there to show you the entire riot.
That inmate that puts the guy through the pool table, I cheered when I saw that.
That inmate needs some more food. He needs a raise.
He needs a real promotion.
Oh, he does.
And then I thought it was hilarious that the taxi driver waited for him.
Just because he was getting paid for it. He's already been paid in full, and he's still
prison
waited.
Riot, there's sirens blaring.
And there's smoke coming out from the fences. The thing is, you never hear the taxi driver question anything when he gets in the cab. Because at this point, he's still the actual taxi driver.
I just like that Matt Murdock says drive, and then...
And he just does?
No, but the scene, it fades to black before you see him leave. So I kind of thought, what if he just stayed there?
Well, you find out later that the thing's been hijacked by...
Yes, there's been another taxi driver.
So it continues after that, it's still tense afterwards.
Yeah.
So, basically, Matt didn't have a good time in episode 4, really.
But what I liked about that is it showed Kingpin's power.
Yeah, it showed that he was still controlling things even in and out of prison.
Because he's not in season 2 much.
No.
But when he is in there...
It does show he has power.
It shows that he's basically taken over this prison. So for Matt to then get stuck in that prison, it's a bit of a payoff for everything in season 2. And then you're sort of wondering, well, what's he going to do now? Kingpin is clearly building up to something else.
Yeah, you can tell he's got plans because he wouldn't just...
But I was still a little bit... Even now, I'm a little bit not certain on what Kingpin's plan was.
I will admit, I'm the same with you here. They kind of explain that he does have a plan.
I understand he was trying to get Vanessa safe.
Yeah.
He was trying to get her into the country.
I think everybody who watches the season will understand that he's trying to get Vanessa safe.
Yes, I think from the amount of times
Other
he
than
says
that, I
it.
think it is just kind of he wants to take over New York again. I think.
Maybe. I mean, it felt like he just kept getting bombarded with different problems, and he was just trying his best to get over them.
Yes.
Like,
while keeping Vanessa by his side.
It felt like Kingpin was always on the back burner throughout the whole series.
Definitely.
Maybe that was the point, that he doesn't have a plan. He's so blinded by Vanessa.
Well, then we get into Vanessa's character and how there's kind of a power... Not really a struggle between them, but there's a power shift.
I think she is fully aware that she has him wrapped around her finger.
You can tell.
But I don't know if that's going to play out anymore in season 4. Because Kingpin's kind of been arrested again.
And threatened again.
Yeah, like, I don't know what they're going to do now.
Maybe 2 Kingpins, who knows? Cloning.
No, they should get the black one from the Ben Affleck one.
He's dead.
He's dead?
The actor's dead.
The actor's dead?
Yeah.
Oh. I mean, they could still.
We'll get The Rock.
Why don't they just CG him? Just de-age him?
No.
Just CG. They did that with Tarkin in Rogue One.
Yeah, they did.
Well, anyway, the next few episodes after this are very focused on what I thought was incredibly rushed development of Dex. They pretty much said, right, we need to get him to be a villain in 2 episodes.
So episode 5 is like episode 5. If you love this character of Dex, bloody hell, you're gonna find out some
Dex
shit.
is like good in episode 4, and then by episode 6 he's Daredevil. That's how quickly that happens.
The thing is, with episode 4, you understand that he's a struggling guy. Like you understand that there's. In episode 5, you understand that he's just fucked, and then in episode 6, you realise he's fucked for the wrong reasons.
I know that the whole marketing thing for this was. This guy is now Daredevil, is an imposter.
Yeah.
However, when he showed up at the end in the Daredevil costume, I was so confused. How did we get to this point?
Well, I think even the writers knew that.
Yeah.
So in later episodes it is explained, so you have the whole thing with Melvin.
Yeah, the whole Melvin bit about him making 2 cop...
We finally see Betsy as well.
Yes, that was interesting, that she was a cop...
Parole officer.
Parole officer, yeah. That bit with Melvin I found quite good, because
I love Melvin.
When he said he made 2 copies of the costume, I knew it was going to be a trap.
Yeah.
The fact that him and Daredevil are not friends, like they fight throughout.
The reason why he made the suit in the first place because he said he'd protect Betsy.
Yeah.
So when Betsy's threatened, he's just like, well, Daredevil's not going to help me anyway. So that basically Melvin's character motivations are always clear throughout the entire thing. Yeah. It's literally just for Betsy.
That was a good little, because I honestly completely forgot he existed.
I can never forget Melvin, mainly because he's the actor from the guy from Avatar who says Meals on Wheels. So
my God,
what a man!
What a man! We're on a different level here. So we get a few... all these episodes, that's the problem I think with Netflix, is when they release all the episodes at once, they all blend into each other.
But that also shows the flow of the show. Like, it keeps the tone all the way through. If it does blend.
That works for some shows, but then you get to shows like Luke Cage.
Yes.
Where I could not binge that.
It was too full on. It was an overwhelming show.
Yeah.
Whereas this, it's overwhelming in a different sense. Like, it has...
It's overwhelming in the way that you want to keep going.
Like,
you need to keep going.
Tension is overwhelming.
Yeah.
But that's good. Whereas the themes of Luke Cage are overwhelming.
Yes.
So much so that you cannot...
it's putting all the themes at the forefront.
It's definitely trying to please, quote unquote, the minorities. Please don't kill me, YouTube. But it's like, it's going out of its way to show we're in Harlem, we're bloody, you know what I mean? Whereas Daredevil's just like, we're trying to show we're Christian.
And, yeah, it really is very in favour of religious people, this season.
Well, not really, because it shows that the Catholic Church is lying to people. Like, it shows...
Oh, God, yeah.
And even Sister Maggie's a drug addict.
I was going to say, there's 2 priests that we get shown in this.
One of them, priest and nun.
They both lie.
Both lie, and they've both had odd past.
Yeah.
Father Lambton, what's it called? Swindles people, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah.
When he's playing pool.
Yeah.
Matt doesn't say anything about it, does he? He just sits there. He's like,
well, he's mad at him at that point, so he's just like letting him get on with it.
But yeah, he's swindling a guy at pool, and it's great to see, like, just a priest, and then when the guy finds out he's a priest, he's like, oh shit. But it's beautiful to see him just try to win people's asses over pool. Character development, people.
Yeah, that's his character development, and then he gets killed.
Then we find out that he's not a saint, he's just an asshole, and then he gets a billy club through the chest.
He does, yeah.
Because the whole thing about killing Karen went out the window, and he killed the priest instead.
So, everything with Dex is building up to the Bulletin massacre, where he just kills everyone.
What we can tell is, though, with this season, it's a lot about character development.
I noticed that.
So
they're giving
before
a lot
action, there was a lot of character development, character building.
And I know we're skipping to after that, but what's his name? The guy in charge of the newspaper with the big beard.
Ah, shit.
I don't know his name, but when he shouts at Karen afterwards, you know, when he's in the hospital,
yes,
and he wants to know who Daredevil is, I was like,
in the comics, that guy knows who Daredevil is, though. That's the problem.
Well, that's why I thought she was going to tell him.
I thought he would have found it on his own, to be fair, but I don't think he cares too much.
He doesn't seem to care too much, no.
He only did at that point because all of his staff were just brutally murdered.
By Daredevil, yeah. But yeah, the fight itself between Daredevil and Daredevil was very hyped up in the trailers and everything.
Definitely. But it wasn't that big of a...
It was obviously mid-season, so it was meant to twist things.
There was key elements in that fight scene that really stood out, though. It's like when Bullseye's actually tricking him with throwing like little rubber balls, like stress balls and scissors. Like,
I like the bit when he throws the snow globe and then something goes through the snow globe.
Yes.
And I've watched in interviews with Charlie Cox and what's his name, Wilson Bethel. They wanted to pay attention to the fact that Daredevil is constantly trying to get in close, whereas Dex is trying to make distance between the two.
You could tell because the show that when Daredevil's up close, he's going to win.
Yes,
and then when it's at range, you know the Dex is going to win.
Yeah.
And I think that's why they so in the Bulletin fight, you see a lot more up close fighting compared to distance. Whereas when it's Nadeem and Daredevil, like in Dex's apartment, there's a lot more range in that fight scene.
I completely forgot about that bit. I like that bit where he's ricocheting everything, all the bullets to try and kill him. Nadeem doesn't really get a good time of it, does he, really, this season?
The best part that he had during this season is when Wilson Fisk was lying to him and he got a promotion, he got everything he wanted up to that point.
He was happy for like the first few episodes and then everything gets pulled away from him, and that really is the focus of the last few episodes up until this finale.
Yeah. Is
about Nadeem testifying against Wilson Fisk.
But then Wilson Fisk bribes the court.
Yeah. And I don't know if you noticed this, but when Nadeem gets shot in the head, he falls into the swimming pool that he hadn't finished.
So they were basically digging his grave.
He literally dug his own grave.
Yes, he did.
What poetry.
Oh,
that's some George Lucas stuff right there.
I think some guy, one of the showrunners were just like, we need a visual statement to show that he's dug his own grave from the start. That he put himself in this situation. I know. Let's build a pool.
Let's build a pool, yeah, in the middle of New York.
And he knew he was going to die, and they obviously express this vividly through the show, and they even say it.
Well, yeah, there was a lot of foreshadowing I didn't pick up on.
I made a joke to Lewis viewers the other day. Like, I spoiled it for him because I watched this first, and I said, hidden joke, Nadeem vlogs.
You did say that, yes. And I really wasn't sure what you meant by that. Until, and I guess
Wilson Fisk gets put in prison because Nadeem made a vlog.
Well,
Nadeem made a vlog.
Well, I suppose we'll have to skip straight to the last episode. Missing out one episode in particular we'll talk about in a minute.
I don't even know what this episode is, I'm
Karen.
surprised. Oh, shit.
But before we talk about Karen, we'll go straight to the finale, where Ray Nadeem's vlog gets Wilson Fisk in prison. And it might possibly be
How is this vlog shown to us, Will?
How's it shown to us?
Yeah.
What do you mean, like on his iPhone?
Oh,
right. When he's vlogging
he's an iPhone vlogger, yeah.
Not just that. I love how the camera's vertical. And
well, he's filming it quick. He wasn't thinking about aesthetics, was he?
But why does he show his family's like wedding photos?
Oh, because right. So his testimony is cut in between his final goodbyes to his family. Because obviously he doesn't have time to edit it. He's not going to go on YouTube, edit it, and like...
No. I mean, he could. He really could.
He did have like a whole day. I suppose he's just lazy.
It was daytime when he went into the house, and
then nighttime when Dex came in.
He had quite a long time. Maybe he had to do a few.
Well, you saw he was getting pissed.
He was, yeah.
He could have saw his family.
Maybe.
No, he just got pissed.
Maybe it took him that long to finish the video. You know, maybe he did a few takes and went, "Oh shit, I missed out."
Maybe, or maybe it took him that long to do those takes as an actor because he couldn't get.
As an actual actor, it took them that long to film this. To his defence, mind, Jay Ali did do a very good job.
He's great in this scene. Even in this scene, like just as a whole.
I didn't like the character, which annoyed me because I thought he was doing such a goddamn good job of it.
I really like the character only for the fact it's a good guy who they try to present as somebody who they think they could corrupt. Whereas he does get corrupted, but not in the sense you'd think.
I just thought it was a side character getting way too much development just to get killed off.
I thought that with Karen Page.
Oh.
And then I read a few comics and I realised, no, it's the exact same in the comics. It's a side character with too much development.
Well, before we get to... We're all over the place here, but... We'll skip the fight scene and everything in the finale, and we'll go to the episode Karen.
Oh, the budget episode.
Episode 10 is called Karen, and, we're assuming at this point everyone's watched this series.
Well, nobody really knows what's happening if they've watched this so far.
I don't know what was happening.
I was told to make it structured, and I really haven't, so I'm sorry, Will, but oh well.
Let me down, Chris.
Okay, Will, calm down. It's a YouTube show.
Are you going to make a vlog about how I'm about to kill you?
I'm going to vlog this goodbye, yeah, and then I'm going to get shot in a pool that I don't own. I'll get shot in Jane's pool, yeah, that'll work.
Do you wish to talk about Karen?
Right. Okay.
I mean, we already know there's a bigger rant on its way.
There is a bigger rant on its way, I promise you.
But I think we can both agree
I'm going to get this early rant going, I think. So, the first half of this budget episode, right, is...
I'm going to move the mic. I'm going to move the mic over to you. Right. So you can just go ahead.
So, the first half of the episode is to show, like, the character development of Karen, of where she once was. Where she's a drug-dealing waitress who looks like shit and treats everybody like shit, but is wanting to go to college at the same time not. She's treating the whole family like shit because a douchebag boyfriend is a drug dealer, because apparently that's true love. And then in the end, the boyfriend kills everyone and burns down the place.
He burns down a caravan.
And kills the brother.
Yeah.
And it's just like, why? And then straight after that, we go to the church scenes. Like, what was the point of the first half? Why did we need that?
Yeah.
It didn't need to be shown. It didn't. Did it, Will?
Did we need this? Did we need a whole episode about Karen Page being on drugs?
I would rather see Foggy talking to her sandwich shop a bit longer. Not gonna lie.
I'd rather watch Foggy eat that entire dinner that his family made for him.
I'd rather watch Foggy give little sweets to little kids and then watch his mother chase those little kids about asking for those sweets again. I would rather watch more scenes of that. I'd rather watch really weird, awkward scenes of Marcy and Foggy having sex when he's just been attacked at the bulletin.
I completely... I forgot this in Season 2 and I forgot it in Season 3. I forgot that they were even a couple. How did that happen?
Well, in Defenders it kind of implies that he's back with her. But in Season 2 it shows that they once had a thing, and then he was like, I'm not a money whore, I don't want you, because she was basically in lawyership for the money. And then he had morals and then wanted to suck off Matt. That was the whole...
Oh, shit, yeah.
Matt is the home wrecker, that's the moral of the story.
Those two, I don't believe for a second.
Yeah, he's punching way above his weight.
Well...
Maybe it's the humour.
No, I think she's punching above her.
He's a great guy, right? I'd fuck him. I wouldn't. Yeah, okay.
You're forgetting we can't cut bits out of this.
No, you just don't want to.
I really don't want to. Karen is the worst episode of series.
Well, the first half of Karen, the second half, the church scenes are actually great.
If season 2 had Karen instead of
I wouldn't be surprised.
Episode 3, it would have been the worst series of all time.
Yeah. Why did they call it Karen? It was the only episode of season 3 I actually took a few seconds to think about if I wanted to watch it or not, just because it was called Karen. Deborah Ann was great, but in season 3, her character development is that she cries.
They should have called that episode, That Must Be Really Hard.
Oh.
That must be really bad or something, isn't that what he says?
That's really hard,
That's really hard, yeah.
That's a motif that goes all the way through, not even just from episode 5 onwards. It's in episode 1. So, do you know when they're surveying Fisk?
Yeah.
They're talking about the shift changes or something, and he's literally just sits there and he goes, "That's really hard," and it's something you don't think about.
I never even... So Dex says that before you find out why it says...
So all the motifs that he has, except for the scream, which Fisk teaches him, is all there. Like,
Fisk teaches him how to scream.
What worried me is that, do you know when he goes to scream?
Yeah.
Dex goes down on his knees.
He gets very close.
Fisk, I'm doing hand gestures. You can't see this. Fisk's basically standing in
Fisk's vertical.
Desk. You see,
Desk and fish.
He's a standing desk. He can go up and down. That's what I mean. Basically, Dex is kneeling down to Fisk while he yells, and he's going "What?" Basically, I'm trying to insinuate he's giving Fisk a blowjob. That's what I'm trying to say. It took me a couple minutes to say he's trying to give Fisk a blowjob.
Did you want him to?
There is somebody out there who has wrote that he has. Rule 34.
Should we just say that he has?
Yeah, we'll say that he has.
Because then in the final episode...
That's why they're all happy next to each other?
Is that why Fisk breaks his back?
Yes, because it wasn't good enough. He realised Vanessa was better and he's just wasted his time.
Was he as good as Wesley?
Nobody's good as Wesley. It was a son to him.
Wesley was a son to him. They gave him all the head he wanted. But now he has Vanessa.
Nobody's better than Vanessa, you see.
That's why he marries her.
Oh.
That's why he marries her and then Daredevil. Do you know what I thought would have been so much better? If Kingpin didn't get the white suit until his wedding. And that was how he got the white suit?
I do like how they showed him in the white suit when he's in Matt's head. It's like...
Yes.
Because it shows how Matt perceives Kingpin.
But it annoyed me quite a bit that his shirt, I couldn't tell if it was purple or not. It must have been the darkest purple against the white.
I thought it was just black.
I thought it was black, but then there's like little hints of purple. I was like...
Maybe that's just the accents.
I just wanted the purple, you know? They gave us half of what we wanted.
Okay.
And they also got the cheapest looking white suit. I don't know if you noticed that. The suit he's actually
the
wearing.
super shiny one.
Yeah, the shiny one.
Well, at least it looked fancy for his wedding.
Yeah, it looked pretty good when it had all the blood on it.
Yeah, why not?
I think...
Well, now he has a pink suit?
Yeah. I think that last fight scene was... I want to say the weakest of the series.
Definitely. When Poindexter was involved, it was good. But with...
Honestly, I can't remember anything out of the fight scene except the end bit when Matt's screaming at Kingpin.
The thing I noticed most is that Kingpin actually has a bulletproof suit. In the sense of... So do you know when Poindexter's throwing like the things at him? It bounces
all the
off
chandelier
him.
Bits.
And then he chucks the coat on Vanessa because you think she's cold. No, it's a bulletproof coat.
Oh.
So that's why when he gets thrown...
I was wondering that. Why did he put his jacket over?
It's because it's a bulletproof coat. So do you know when he gets thrown at him again and he gets stabbed in like the lower waist?
Yeah.
He was protected, whereas earlier on it was bouncing off him. It's because
I noticed that was the same place he got shanked.
Yes.
I couldn't tell if that was intentional or not.
I don't think it was intentional.
I thought like maybe Poindexter knew that was where he was vulnerable because he'd already been shanked there.
No, I think just Poindexter was just throwing for the sake of throwing.
Yeah.
And that's non-lethal place to get stabbed.
He did incredibly miss.
Yes.
Many places. I like how... I don't know if it was a running theme of the series that every time Poindexter threw something, Matt would block it. He would throw something in the way.
In the comics, Bullseye has only ever missed once. and it was to Daredevil. Whereas in this, Poindexter does miss.
I don't think he hits anything. Well, he hits a few people.
He hits a few. Well, I mean, he does kill a canny few.
He kind of puts some scissors in Daredevil's
shoulder for no reason.
Yeah, but Daredevil he doesn't take them out. He's walking around for the latter half of the episode with these scissors pointing out.
He's chilling like a stationary holder. That's what Daredevil is.
Oh shoot,
in
is
the
that what it's meant
fight.
to be?
He's a stationary holder.
I'm not happy with the series ending on a high note.
Well,
not a high note, sorry, but like a good.
I would have been happy
ending.
with it if the acting was good for it.
It felt like they'd whiplashed their way into the beginning of series 1.
Yes.
Like, where did suddenly everything become happy?
Why is Matt smiling again? Why?
Isn't Matt Murdock still a fugitive?
I don't understand. That kind of went out the window, didn't it?
Didn't Foggy become a fugitive as well? I remember a point. There's a bit where he says, "I'm a fugitive too." Wilson Fisk's in prison again, so they're not going to do that again. Vanessa's alive?
Yeah, she's alive. Thing is, she was supposed to go away free. She still got arrested. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And Poindexter has a bullseye in his eye.
Now, is that light or is that just true? I first watched that. Is that from light reflection or?
I was thinking, like, I couldn't remember if Bullseye in the comics had superpowers.
He does, in the extent of some comics, he does, some he doesn't.
Yeah. So I was wondering, like, that gave me real Captain America vibes.
Because what happens is in the comics, he gets an adamantium not a skeleton, but he gets some adamantium something.
Well, he has just had his entire spine ripped out.
Yes, which does come from Born Again.
Maybe they're going to give him some vibranium from Wakanda, make him metal.
I don't
Bullseye.
think Wakanda would give it to a scumbag. Like,
I would. His hairline was incredible.
Right, whose hairline's better, his or Charlie Cox's? Or mine?
I think his was worse.
Or mine?
He kept covering it.
Who, Dexter?
He just kept Dexter. Is that it's pointed
Dexter's lab.
Dexter.
I'm just calling them Dex.
It's Dex.
Dexter's laboratory.
It's Benjamin.
Benny boy.
It's Ben.
No, Ben's dead. He died in season 1.
Oh shoot, Ben Urich. Yeah.
Ben's dead.
That's so bad that they've got two.
Well,
they mentioned that. I noticed they keep bringing up characters from series 1.
Well, yeah, because it needs to show continuity. So you see Deborah and Walt
they knew where the best characters were.
In heaven.
Yeah, they killed all their best characters. Ben Urich should still be alive. I didn't like the fact they killed him off that early.
I don't understand why they did.
Just because they could.
I think they just needed a character death in there. They
wanted to be edgy in season 1.
I think they wanted to replace Ben Urich with Karen.
Oh shoot! Yeah. There you go.
Fucking Karen.
Well, I guess before we summarise our thoughts of season 3,
as you can tell, it's quite jumbled.
I'm gonna give you this unique opportunity to talk
about our favourite characters.
About the best character
of
series 3, and that would be Ray Nadim's wife.
So, if you haven't seen this, Ray Nadim's wife.
Once again, I'm moving the mic. We're getting another Chris rant.
Right, Ray Nadim's wife. Oh fuck. Okay, so she's supposed to be a loving wife, mother, relative, family member.
Oh, yeah.
And all she does is bitch.
She does bitch quite a bit, yeah.
She hates Nadim for lying to her when he works in a government agency where he's not allowed to say anything. It's a kind of a legal application to not talk about what he's doing, yet she gets so butthurt that she says she can't love him anymore. Right? And what I just want to talk about is, one, the actress just annoys me. I've seen her in a few things. She does have one of those faces that you've seen her in things.
Does she in other stuff?
I feel like I've seen her in other things, and she just annoys me. And she says that Sammy hates him because, I don't know, she's just not the bitch just doesn't shut up. Every 5 seconds it's just like, Ray, don't lie to me. Like, the first few episodes...
She keeps going on about honesty, doesn't she? You need to be honest to me.
And because of her stupid ass ways, he's dead. I'm blaming it on her. I don't know why. It's just her fault.
She's the reason he's dead.
She's the reason he's dead.
She's the reason
yeah.
That's fantastic.
It hurts.
Well, with that, I suppose we shall now go into our final thoughts.
She's a bitch. That's my final thought.
Our final thoughts on Daredevil Season 3.
Right.
What did you think overall?
I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's very hard to, like, describe which one's better, which one's worse. Like, out of the 3 seasons, you can't really... Well, obviously 1 is better than 2.
Yes.
2's not bad.
I think each season tried to be different each time.
Yes, each season has a different tone.
Which means that when binging them all 3 together, it's going to be horrible.
Your brain's going to be as jumbled as ours as us doing this review.
But this season managed to be consistently good.
Yes.
Watchable. There was no point where I wanted to turn it off. Even during the Karen bits, I was still...
Really, I will admit, the first half of Karen, I fast-forwarded on my first viewing until we got to the church scene.
Yeah.
I don't regret it.
I still watched that bit. It was a terrible episode, but it wasn't...
It was terrible for the first half.
It was better than Iron Fist.
Yes.
So...
Speaking of...
Well, we'll get to the cancellations, because we'll talk about what we think is going to happen next. But I think that this series of Daredevil, it was a very memey series. I feel like they tried...
How so? Like, what do you mean?
Well, that must be really hard.
Oh, that must be really... I think I found that I'm using that these days.
And I feel like Ray Nadeem... For some reason, Ray Nadeem just...
Ray Nadeem, the vlogger. That's always stuck in my head.
There was the Karen episode. There was the wife. There's just...
Right, the wife.
No, we can stop talking about the wife.
She was more... Right, so Ray Nadeem's just been shot at in his house. He was the one who got shot at.
Yeah.
She complains that they're stuck in a bathtub. That's the safest place they'll be. She was upset. He's just been shot. She doesn't even know that he's been shot on the side. Do you know when he gets, like, shot by...
Yeah, and he keeps hiding it with his coat.
The bitch doesn't care.
I think there's a lot of nitpicks with this series because they try to complicate it.
Yes, I agree.
A little too much, because I still don't know what Kingpin was up to. But
I honestly think it was just to dominate New York again.
Yeah.
I think he was just trying to find his way back to where he was.
I think the stinger for Season 4 has left them with not much to do. There's no other Daredevil villains they can bring back.
The only thing they really can do now is the Bullseye and Elektra storyline.
Yeah, but I don't see Elektra coming back anytime soon.
I don't see Netflix shows coming back anytime soon. Honestly.
Well, I guess if you were going to rate it out of 10,
what
would you give it?
7.5.
7.5. I would give it a very strong 8.
Oof.
Because I think I would give Series 2 more of a 7 or a 6. This was definitely better than Series 2.
Okay, if we're talking like that, Season 2 for me is like a 6.
A 6, yeah.
I would say Season 1's always an 8 or an 8.5, because I've always had the theory you can never give something a 10.
I would give it a 9.
I could never give something a 10 because nothing's perfect.
I just think for what they were going for, Series 1 did it perfect. This series feels like they weren't quite sure what they were going for.
It's a lot more sure of itself than it was in Season 2.
Yes, that's definitely something.
Right, there's something I would like to talk about. Do you like how they didn't use the red suit at all for Matt? Because do you think that was good for his character arc?
I think it was good that he'd left the suit behind. He thought Daredevil was a bad thing, and that
he didn't really think it was a bad thing. I just don't think he felt that he was comfortable, because he said he was always going to be Daredevil.
There was definitely a bit later on in the season where he says,
"I'm getting my suit back."
No, he says, "I'm leaving the suit behind me," and I think it's when he talks to Melvin. I don't know. I like the idea that just for one season, Matt's a little bit more detached from it.
He's very detached from himself in that season. He doesn't really know who he is, and I think that's why I kind of like that he didn't touch the suit at all.
I'm still quite curious as to what happens next, which I guess we can segue into our final point of this video, which will be what we think is going to happen next, because obviously Iron Fist and Luke Cage have just been cancelled.
And I think more cancellations are to come, I will admit. It's either going to be Punisher next, which I think is more likely to be closed than Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
But I think Jessica Jones is going too.
I have a feeling, because Daredevil obviously just came out last, they might have known, and so they've ended it in a place where I feel like it could be the end.
This is definitely a place where if it did end now, I don't think... Well, people would be upset, but I think they'd be happy with the conclusion they've got.
Yeah.
Whereas with season 2 of both Iron Fist and Luke Cage, they didn't know.
Definitely not. Luke Cage has the whole ending where he's King of Harlem, and I don't care about Iron Fist, but I'm sure that ends in a very cliffhanger way. I'm sure they'll never make a Defenders series 2.
I do like the theory that now those 2 scripts are closed, they're going to do Heroes for Hire. I'm very sure they won't. But the theory's nice.
These Marvel shows are going to go in 2 directions, basically. They're either going to all get cancelled, and that'll be it, and then they'll start some new shows
on the streaming service.
On this new streaming service. Or they're going to move some of them across and change Luke Cage and Iron Fist into Heroes for Hire. And possibly Daughters of the Dragon as well with the other show.
I honestly think they might stay cancelled by the sounds of it.
Well, there's a lot of different...
Because they haven't told... the actors on Twitter haven't been, sure of themselves either.
Mike Coulter, who plays Luke Cage...
He's all dressed up and nowhere to go. That's his quote.
He's... Well, I think more importantly, he's
Spartan Locke now.
He can now play Spartan Locke.
He can now be full-time Spartan Locke.
And I think that's the
biggest... Fireteam Osiris. The light is green.
The light is now green.
Halo 6 confirmed.
I think, yes, it's a definite sign that Mike Coulter will be returning to Halo.
This was all a ruse. This isn't about Daredevil. This is about Halo.
This is all about Mike Coulter returning to Halo.
Yeah.
This is actually a tease for Halo Nights coming back.
Wednesday Halo Night.
We're doing the Wednesdays. Anyway, so at this point we've got no idea where Daredevil's going.
I don't want it to shut because I love Daredevil.
I think it's the best TV show out of these Marvel ones. Definitely.
It's the best TV show, and it really did bring my love back to Marvel Comics because after that I started to read them again.
Well, Jake gave me the same impression. He said that watching season 3 made him want to read Daredevil, and I think that's the best thing a show can do, really.
Because obviously in a marketing standpoint, that's perfect. It makes them more money,
and I'd say it's better than the Daredevil comics.
Well, it's because Daredevil's never had a stand. They've never given him. It's like Moon Knight. Does he have good runs going?
I've been looking for ages trying to find a good Daredevil book that's after the 80s.
Like The Man Without Fear, the Frank Miller one.
That was a recent one. Yes,
because that's where
the black suit came from. Yeah,
but other than that, there's not he's more of a single issue character than an event guy.
I haven't really seen him in many crossovers or anything because he's quite a small.
Because he's a city level.
He's like a discount Spider-Man.
Well, I think that's why the show works, because he is a city level hero.
Yeah.
And then it's all the same with Luke Cage. Iron Fist isn't really city level, but they've tried to make him over the years city level.
I feel like
I've never understood that.
Iron Fist should have been a movie.
But the thing is, even in the comics, he's a Avengers grade character who's been made city level, which I've never understood.
Yeah. So I guess in conclusion, we can say that Season 3 was a success.
Season 3 was a definite success compared to Season 2 and Season 1. Actually, it is.
And in comparison to the other Netflix shows, I'd say it's definitely better than
Jessica Jones compared to fucking Jessica Jones Season 2.
Have you seen Jessica Jones Season 2?
The only things I know about it is the random blonde lass gets random ass powers and she's a dummy.
Watching it, I thought it was the biggest mess I've ever seen.
You've watched Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? I love that show, I will admit, but I know it's a mess.
Oh god. The fact that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. takes place in the same universe as this?
That's a weird thought.
Yeah. One final little point, just while we've got the time. This season of Daredevil has little to no reference to any of the MCU.
Which I prefer.
Yeah.
I 100% prefer.
Do you think that they really need to be in the MCU at this point?
No. That's why they haven't used the snap. Yeah. Well, obviously it's to keep their characters, but the snap, everybody knows, is the bloody Thanos snap. Even memes know it. But the reason why they've kept it out is so they can keep their own characters, their own property. And people are trying to say if it's still in the MCU, I mean, obviously it will be, but
I prefer
that it's its own thing now.
Yeah, I just wish they didn't have to be restricted by the MCU.
Well, now they're not. Yeah. They've taken away one of the biggest plot points in the MCU that's ever been done.
It's because they're all cancelled.
Do you think the MCU got so butthurt?
Have you seen that meme? Have you seen that meme where it's
half the Defenders
taking out
gone.
Half the Defenders?
Oh
yeah.
Yes.
I love that. I bet they get.
True.
I bet after Avengers 4 they get
if they're not in the film. you see like a really bad PNG of them in the Soul Stone.
I'd love if they've been cancelled because it's going to be Iron Fist and Luke Cage who get into the movies, and Daredevil is permanently stuck in the TV.
He just gets no pay raise at all. Just oh no.
And what's that new movie that Charlie Cox was in with the old men?
Oh, Michael Caine, and it's like a heist movie.
And it's a heist movie. Is that a prequel?
No, it's an alternate universe where, and then they'll bring Daredevil into it somehow, and he's gonna have to take himself down, and it's oh god.
I've got something to talk about, but I'll mention after. So right, can we officially say we've covered everything?
We can, except for one point. Would you say this is a rewatchable season? Like, do you know how season 1 and 2 are very rewatchable? Whereas this, I don't know, because the tone and like the actual plot line, do you think it's rewatchable or not?
You see, I think there's particular episodes that stand out in this.
Like, I couldn't rewatch Karen again.
No, definitely not.
I couldn't rewatch episode 5 is good. The only reason why I'd watch certain episodes again is to look for very small details.
The backstory of Bullseye is a very good episode.
But is it rewatchable?
No, because once you've seen it, you know everything about him.
That's the great thing about that episode, because then it allows you to look into other episodes in detail.
If you were rewatching this series, you could skip out
a few episodes, like
half of it.
Yeah,
even I mean,
you could skip out pilot.
You could go straight from the church fight to the finale. I feel. I don't think the whole testimony thing, because that goes nowhere.
You can skip the whole testimony bit. I mean, the testimony fight is like when he's trying to rush Nadeem to.
I completely forgot about that when he's directing him.
Yes,
where everyone is.
But he's making Nadeem look like he's in front.
That was pretty good, actually.
So that's the thing with Daredevil. There's great fight scenes, and usually it's rewatchable. But this season is great. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But the rewatchability isn't as much as the other two seasons. I'm still going to rewatch it because I'm a little fanboy and really have a hard on for Cox, but
Cox. Spelled C-O-X.
C-O-X, yes. But yeah, it's not as rewatchable as other seasons.
No.
I could watch Defenders more than I could watch this, I think.
I think it should have been 10 episodes.
I've always preferred more episodes because obviously I'm the guy who like more is more.
Well, you like the CW shows. And
I love the CW shows, and they're 23. So when the new seasons have been reduced a tiny bit, I think. From what I remember, I think like these new seasons have been reduced. I don't like that, but that's because I love new content. I'm a little nerd boy.
I just feel like Defenders was 8 episodes, and they managed to get one arc sorted.
It was a one shoddy arc, though.
It was a very shoddy arc.
Rushed. That's the issue with Defenders. It's got less episodes and it's rushed.
It was building up to literally nothing.
Yeah, was building up to the building coming down.
There was an Iron Fist underground or something. I don't know. But the dragon from the Iron Fist.
Well, that's crushed now. So's Charlie Cox. Who cares? Elektra's gone. She's dead again, so she's gonna get resurrected again to be killed by Bullseye to get resurrected again. She's an endless loop now.
And I think we'll end on that note. Well, thank you all for the people who have actually stuck out.
If anybody's at this point, I'll be surprised.
Yeah,
I mean, we'll watch this again.
We'll watch it all the way through, but
and then Lewis will hit me saying you went off topic way too many times, and I'll be like, oh, okay.
We're nearly at an hour.
Are we?
Yeah, we're nearly at an hour. So
there was no structure to this, and we've even planned our structure. We've got scripts here, sort of like the planned out.
We haven't got scripts, but
we wrote a structure down.
No one's watching this point. Let's just experiment.
What type of experiment are we talking about?
No, I mean, the sort that you would do to Ben Poindexter when he gets shattered.
I've just realised we didn't talk about Frozen Julie. Oh no. He was talking to a dead girl in this car.
You know what? If anyone says we didn't mention it, we can mention it now.
Right, Frozen Julie, I think was beautiful. Not the actual look. Like, do you know how he just drove her about in his car?
And he started talking to her.
And he started talking to her. He's just like, "Oh, don't mind."
He was a proper creep.
Well, yeah, he chased it down. But were you rooting for him when he went on his date with her until it got awkward? Me neither.
I wanted him to get completely mentally handicapped.
I did laugh when she got shot out of the blue, though. Do you know when she got bopped in the head? Like she was like walking. It's like,
oh yeah.
Did the landlord let you in? And it's like bang.
Oh, it's just.
It's the way Charlie Cox acted about it afterwards, though. It was funny. Do you know when he's like teasing him about it? Oh, I love that scene.
It's so odd.
Charlie Cox is a dick in the season, and it's great.
Yeah.
He's a beautiful.
You know what? I should just put that quote on the screen.
Charlie Cox is a beautiful dick in this season, and I love it.
He's a beautiful dick. Yeah. So, for anyone watching at this point,
just remember about Frozen Julie.
Where can they find you on the interwebs?
You can't really find me anywhere these days. I'm just kind of at home. I don't really.
What's your address? Don't say it.
It's fine. Just put in a really loud sound effect over the top.
Sorry, I'll do that now.
Nice. You can find me on Maddog Studios, but there's not much there, you see.
There's plenty there.
Where can we find you? I know you were already here, but where can we find you?
You're already on my beautiful YouTube channel.
You may as well say your name.
This is the first. I am Prototype.
Is it Will again, or is it Prototype again? Is it Prototype Cinema? What's happening, man?
I haven't made a video in 7 months.
And your name's changed more than that.
And I'm back to Prototype. I'm back making videos. We've got the best video ever coming out next week, so you can...
It's next week, damn.
Next week, I'm sorry.
No, I thought it was longer than that.
No, it's next week.
Damn.
Next Wednesday, you'll be getting the Adventures of Prototype episode 2. There's your spoiler alert for the people who stayed this long.
Well, some people normally skip to the end, so you didn't hear anything, bitches.
Yeah.
Right, so later pugs, and what do you call your little fan base?
I call them Protobites.
Okay. Good night, Protobites. Sweet dreams.
Yes, and they all lived happily ever after.